fucking cold, right? You're going to slide around. Good afternoon, everybody. All right, come on. I know it's cold, but if you yell, it'll warm you up. Good afternoon, everybody. A little bit better. All right, my name is Nicole Gill. This is not my first rally on this issue, but I am so glad you are all coming back for more, because right now in that building behind us, there are members of the United States Senate and the House of Representatives scheming to take away your hard-earned dollars to give tax cuts to millionaires, billionaires, and wealthy corporations. Shame, 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 shame. They don't think that we notice, and they don't think that we care. And they're wrong. We are here because we want to kill this bill. Kill the 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 bill. So today we are going to hear from some of our elected leaders who are fighting on behalf of us and all Americans. And we're also going to hear from some folks who would be directly affected if these tax cuts were to go through, because programs that we rely on, Medicaid, Medicare, funding for public education, yes, all of those things would be at risk. And so I am delighted to bring up someone I feel honored to call my friend. She has been fighting on healthcare and fighting on taxes, because you all know those are the same fight. And she's been here pretty much every day, I think, since June or July. So please welcome from the Little Lobbyists, Elena.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I am Elena Hung, and I stand here as a mom of a child with complex medical needs. And I stand here on behalf of families like mine, the Little Lobbyists. Thank you. You may know our story. For months and months and months, we have been coming to Capitol Hill with our children to meet with legislators and their staffers. We believe that Congress needs to hear the stories and see the faces of those affected by their votes. And their votes on this tax bill will affect us. So this is my story. 3.5 years ago, I had a great pregnancy and an amazing birth. And then 15 minutes later, my baby daughter, Xiomara, was rushed to the NICU, where she remained for the next 5 months. To date, she has seen over a dozen specialists and had countless medical procedures. She depends on a tracheostomy and a ventilator to breathe and a feeding tube for all of her nutrition. But I am thrilled to tell you that Xiomara is thriving today.
Yeah!
And she is thriving because of the amazing medical care and services that she has received. She is a happy and incredible child. She just started talking, and she is almost walking. She is smart and funny and kind and just a little bit naughty. She is going to school, and she has an incredibly bright future ahead of her. And these are all things that seemed terribly impossible not long ago. And with that, I want to say thank you to Medicaid. Yes. Thank you, Medicaid, for the physical therapy and occupational therapy and speech therapy and feeding therapy. Thank you, Medicaid, for the nurse that goes with her to school, her school that has an inclusive special education program. Thank you, Medicaid, for all the services and supports in the community so children like Xiomara can live at home with their families and not in institutions far, far away. Thank you, Medicaid. So why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you this because this tax bill threatens all of that. It threatens everything that Xiomara has accomplished. This tax bill gives huge tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy, creating over $1 trillion in debt. And we know how they will try to pay off this debt. They told us they are coming after Medicaid. That's right. So Congress, let us be clear. When you come after our kids, we will come after you. Right. When you come after our families with this reckless tax bill that benefits corporations at the expense of our children's future, we will come after you. 2018. And Speaker Ryan, if you come after Medicaid, Speaker Ryan, if you come after Medicaid like you said you would, we will come after you. That's right.
Fireball Ryan! Fireball Ryan!
That's right. We will come after you the way Virginia voters came after you last month. And we will come after you the way Alabama voters came after you last night. So I want to end with this, my friends. My friends, if you ever feel powerless, if you ever feel like you don't have a voice, I am here to remind you that your voice is your power. So go on and use it. Find your voice. Find your voice like I did. Find your voice and advocate for yourself and those you love and advocate for this country. I found my voice. And I found my voice at my daughter's bedside in the NICU. And I found my voice walking the halls of the Senate office buildings. And I found my voice at the little lobbyists. So friends, find your voice and speak up. Tell your story. Show up so your elected officials can see your face and think of you every single time they vote. Thank you, everyone. Let's do this.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
Kill the bill.
All right, friends. If we are going to kill this bill, this next speaker is the one who's going to lead us to do it. Put your hands together for Leader Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you all. We've been out here in the spring and in the summer fighting them on the repeal of the Affordable Care Act. And you made that happen. And here we are when it's very cold. But that bill is very, very cold. We must destroy it. We must kill the bill. So I'm here on behalf of my colleagues to say thank you to all of you for being here and being there over and over again to speak out against the immorality, the dishonesty, the obscenity that is this tax bill. Elena, she just spoke so beautifully about what this means to Xiomara. Charlie's mom's here. Little Charlie of the hi, Mom. Give her my love. I have her art in my office. The little lobbyist. But here's the thing, my friends. We are at a patriotic moment of truth in our country. And we have to ask the questions, why? Why would Republicans want to rob the future, our children's future? Why? To give tax breaks to corporate America, $1.5 trillion in tax breaks, not paid for and permanent, while they're making us pay for 5-year increase, extension of CHIP. We must pay for that, but we don't have to pay for $1.5 trillion. Why are they're robbing the future?
It's greed.
Why are they ripping off the middle class?
They don't care.
78 million Americans, middle class Americans, will have a tax increase. Why? So they can give a tax break to the wealthiest people in our country. It's immoral, it's wrong, and it must be defeated. Why? Why are they rewarding the rich this way, except that they are their donors and their friends and themselves? Why are they robbing the future, ripping off the middle class and rewarding the wealthy? That is not what America is about. This bill is not about economic growth. It's not about easing the inequality in our economy. It's a terrible bill. We're just having a hearing, a Democratic hearing, because the Republicans, for a bill that is going to have trillions of dollars in impact on our economy, no hearings, no expert witnesses. They do not want to hear the truth. Shame. So here's the deal. Atlanta talked about the Amar and her challenges, and God bless her. Thank you for honoring us with your words, your courage, your patriotism, Atlanta. You found your voice. Our voice, we must know our power. And this is a battle. We may lose this battle, we may not. We don't give up. But this is a fight that we will continue. But we will continue, because they are taking America, they have a fork in the road. They're taking America down a path of greed, power, money, at the expense of the American people, at the expense of it. And one of the other things I want to point out, because we just heard in a hearing, Will Fisher's been on the phone with us constantly. Yesterday he was at a press conference with Senator Tammy Duckworth and Will Addick and the rest to talk about what this bill does to our veterans. Shame on them for what they are. Why? Why are they destroying? Shame to take away the hire our heroes piece of the law. Hire our heroes. Cancel that out. Work opportunity bill. Cancel that out. Our veterans, whether it's for job opportunity, whether it's dealing with issues that relate to disabilities, whether all of it, they are just being very disrespectful of our veterans. But these veterans have said our veterans are the middle class in our country. They have fought to protect our way of life, our Constitution. We owe them a future worthy of their sacrifice. We owe them a job when they come home. This bill destroys that opportunity. The list goes on and on. People with disabilities certainly matter. And look what they do in the bill. They take away the opportunity for people with small businesses to accommodate for ADA. They take away this is absolutely a total disgrace. It's a disgrace to this Capitol. It is a disgrace to our founders. It is a disgrace to America. And we're going to fight this fight and continue to fight this fight.
2018.
But you are the warriors.
Kill the bill.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
Kill the bill.
Let's go do it. Let's go kill the bill. Let's go kill the bill. Thank you all very much.
All right.
Let's hear it for just not one penny. Thank you for 1 penny. Not 1 penny.
Not 1 penny.
Let's hear it for Nicole. Yay, Nicole.
Yay.
I love that woman.
Me too.
She's so great. So great. All right. Good afternoon, everybody.
Birdie, birdie, birdie.
You don't need an introduction. All right. A man who needs no introduction. Senator Bernie Sanders.
Thank you, Nicole. Here is the good news.
Yes, Bernie.
And that is in a few minutes, 2 o'clock, I'm going to be participating in a conference committee on this disastrous tax bill.
Kill the bill.
And during that committee meeting, there are going to be very, very good arguments made as to why this bill should be killed.
Yeah. Kill the bill.
Now that's the good news. The bad news is it doesn't matter because the bill has already been written.
That's right.
So what you have is a sham of a conference committee, presumably to discuss the bill, but the bill has already been written behind closed doors. It's a bill that has not yet had one public hearing to hear from the American people. But on the other hand, over 5,000 lobbyists representing the wealthy and large corporations, they have had major impact on this legislation. So here we are at a moment in American history of massive income and wealth inequality. Rich are getting much richer, middle class is shrinking, 40 million people living in poverty, and what this bill does is give 62% of the tax benefits to the top 1%. 40 in the Senate bill, 42% of the benefits go to the top 1/10 of 1%. Meanwhile, they're going to run up a deficit of $1.4 trillion over 10 years, and you got Paul Ryan saying, well, we're going to deal with that deficit by cutting Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Well, guess what? The American people, we saw it last night in Alabama. We saw it earlier in the month in Virginia and New Jersey. The American people are catching on, and they know that the time is now for the United States Congress to start representing the working people of this country and not the Koch brothers, wealthy campaign contributors, or the 1%. Now, brothers and sisters, on all of these issues, whether it's taxes, whether it's health care, the American people are on our side. So this is a moment to keep fighting, to keep our eyes on the prize, and that is a government that represents all of us, not just the wealthy and the powerful. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Senator Sanders. All right, how about we try a new one that started last night? No Jones, no vote. 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 No Jones, no vote.
That's right.
It's nice to have another Democrat in the Senate. So let's make sure he gets seated before this bill goes anywhere.
Yes.
All right, our next speaker comes from Texas. He's on the Ways and Means Committee, and he's also the ranking member of the Tax Policy Subcommittee. He's a smart guy. Representative Lloyd Doggett.
Thank you, American patriots. It looks to me like you're ready to fight this bill until hell freezes over. From the feeling of this breeze, it may already be starting, so let's plan to fight them on the ice as well. You know, more than a bill, this measure is a giant lie wrapped in lies. A sneak attack on America, trying to ram through this bill at warp speed before the American people even realize what's happened to them. It's like their plan on health care to deny that to millions of Americans. They want to keep it as secret as long as they can, relying on secrecy and speed. This year we've had a steady erosion of democracy.
Yes, we have.
You know, I think Secretary Mnuchin from the Treasury Department, he must be being kept not only locked up, but in a secure and undisclosed location. Because like the rest of the Trump administration, none of them have the personal courage to come over here to the Capitol building and answer questions about their tax sham. Maybe they don't want to disclose how many of the tax benefits here are going to end up in the pocket of Donald Trump and his family, but it's a bunch. But I'm convinced that a reckoning is coming.
Yes, it is.
In fact, there was a little reckoning down in Alabama last night. Americans will demand accountability for a scheme that just widens inequality in this country, that showers its gold-plated benefits on those at the top, on corporations, including the Trump family personally. The reckoning will come when the students that I see here and hear from across America find out that they have to pay more taxes, not less taxes. The reckoning will come when the Republicans use this huge debt burden as an excuse to undermine programs they've never supported, like Medicare and educational opportunity and other vital public investments.
Hell no.
We know that the benefits of outsourcing our jobs that they will get out of this bill will just be used to enrich their already overpaid corporate CEOs and throw more benefits to the taxpayers. This is a sham of a bill. It is the result, really, of collusion between Mr. Big Tweet down there on Pennsylvania Avenue and the masters of deceit here in Congress. It's the product of the type of one-party authoritarian rule that Donald Trump so much admires around the world. The Republicans are willing to ignore any wrongs, embrace a child molester, endorse him, denigrate our law enforcement officers. Clearly they have no shame, only a sham to present to us. So let's keep shining the light on their tax scam. Let's keep telling America about it, raising our voices, raising awareness, and holding accountable anyone who would vote for such an outrageous proposal. Thank you.
Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill!
Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill!
Let's welcome Elizabeth Warren, Senator from Massachusetts.
Okay, what a win in Alabama last night. It is 28 degrees out here, and I'm not cold at all. A victory like that fires us up. Last night, the people of Alabama sent a powerful message. They sent a message to Republicans in Congress. They sent a message to Donald Trump, and they sent a message to our entire country. We will fight back against hatred and bigotry, and we will win. Yes! For the past few weeks, Republicans in this building have been trying to rush their bill to send giant tax giveaways to big corporations paid for by hard-working Americans. After last night's victory, there's talk they're even going to try to move faster.
Seat Doug Jones. No Jones, no vote. No Jones.
People.
No Jones, no vote. 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 No Jones, no vote.
People are sick and tired of a Republican Congress that works only for those at the tippy top. They're sick of it everywhere, even in bright red Alabama.
Yes, that's right.
Our message to Mitch McConnell is simple. No vote on the Republican tax bill before Doug Jones takes his rightful seat in the United States. Are you with me on that? You bet.
No vote. No Jones, 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 no vote.
The American people see what's going on here.
Yes, we do.
The GOP tax scam has been a smash and grab job, with Republicans looting the U.S. Treasury to pay off their wealthy donors. Republicans know that the longer this bill sees the light of day, the more people hate it.
Yes, yes, yes.
If the Republicans give Alabama their rightful voice in the Senate, they may not be able to pass this special favor to their wealthy campaign donors. So we're here to fight for what we believe in.
Yes.
We believe that no middle-class family in this country should have to pay more in taxes so that giant corporations and billionaires can pay less. Are you ready to fight?
Yeah!
We believe that no single mom, no veteran, no senior should have their services cut so that some rich kid can inherit another $1 billion. Are you ready to fight? We believe that the future of this country is not built with a $1.5 trillion tax giveaway to giant corporations, but by investing in working people. Are you ready to fight?
Yeah.
The Republicans are trying to rush this bill through, and we're here to fight back.
Stop it, yes.
Last night, Alabama showed us that when we fight for what we believe in, we win.
Yes.
We win. So are you ready to fight?
Yeah.
Are you ready to fight?
Yeah.
Are you ready to fight?
Yeah.
Are you ready to tell Mitch McConnell no vote on the Republican tax scam until Doug Jones takes his seat in the Senate?
Yes.
Yeah. No vote.
No.
No.
No vote. No Jones, 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 no vote.
So that's it. Are you ready to stop this Republican tax scam? Let's do it. All right, let's do it. Thank you. Stay after
bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the
do this.
Kill the bill.
Thank you.
Kill the bill.
All right.
Kill the bill. Right.
Thank you.
Let's give it up one more time for Elizabeth Warren. Back in 2010, when Scott Brown won his election to the United States Senate, certain Republican members of Congress said, we have to wait on health care. We can't take a vote until Scott Brown gets seated. What do you think those same, they're all men, are saying now? Right?
Yep.
No Jones, no vote. No Jones, no vote. No Jones, no vote. No Jones, no vote. No Jones, no vote.
No Jones, no vote.
All right, friends. I need you to help me welcome my dear friend, who I just pulled up onto the stage, Chad Bolt from Indivisible. So Chad and I did a little Facebook Live Monday night, and it was a lot of fun. And Chad, would you mind telling us what we can still do to fight back on the bill? Because it's not over, right? It's not over.
Right. All right, so that's the bottom line. This is not over, and there's a lot that we can still do, including no Jones, no vote, no Jones, no vote, no Jones, no vote.
No Jones, no vote.
All right, so it's easy to feel like, a lot of us live here in D.C., a lot of our friends live in blue states that have Democratic senators. They're with us on this, saying no Jones, no vote. So what can we do? Well, Indivisible's got an awesome tool. You can find it at trumptaxscam.org. It's our blue state call tool. So everybody that lives in a blue state can make phone calls to fellow progressives that live in target states, Maine, Arizona, for example. Call up those fellow progressives and say, hey, did you know that you've got the most power in this fight? The time is right now for you to call your senators and demand that they not take a vote on this tax scam until Doug Jones is seated. All right, so it's trumptaxscam.org. And in the top right-hand corner, you can find the link to the Blue State Call Tool. All right, so let's get everybody in this fight because we can still win it.
Yes.
We can still win it, but it's going to take everybody. So tell your friends about the Blue State Call Tool. Go home and check it out after you leave this rally. And let's go kill the bill.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. How y'all feeling? Come on. You didn't come out to be timid. How are you all feeling? Yeah. We won a Senate seat in Alabama last night. Yeah. All of you did that.
No Jones, no vote.
No Jones, no vote. No Jones, no vote. No Jones, no vote.
No Jones, no vote.
All right. So there are some friends of ours who couldn't be here outside today because, as Elizabeth Warren said, it is 28 degrees out. It's a little chilly. Two people in particular. Our friend Knights from ADAPT. She is a disability rights. Adapt and Resist. They are the disability rights group that you saw get arrested in the halls of Congress and get dragged out for standing up for their right to Medicare and Medicaid and health care funding that they rely on. Knights really wanted to be here, but unfortunately it's a little too cold, which is understandable for some. So thank you, Knights and ADAPT, for everything that you do and for standing up in this fight. And then, how many of you saw a video last week of a young father on a plane talking to Senator Jeff Flake, right?
I did. I heard about that.
Flake's on a plane. Well, 80 Barkan, Audie, sorry. I even practiced that. It's so terrible. I'm sorry. Audie Barkan, who's a young man in his 30s. He has a young son and a wife, and he was stricken with ALS, which is an awful, awful, debilitating disease. Audie is here. Audie is meeting with Senators Flake and Collins today. Listen to Audie.
Listen to Audie. Listen to Audie. Listen to Audie. Listen to Audie.
Okay. And I think we have somebody who's a friend of Audie who's going to speak on his behalf.
How we doing? Are we fired up after last night?
Yeah.
So as was mentioned before, Audie is not here. Audie has Lou Gehrig's disease, and because of health concerns, he is only able to be one place at one time. and it takes them a little time to get to different places. So my name is Jaron Benjamin, and I work for Housing Works. We're the nation's largest community-based aid service organization. And we work in tandem with the Center for Popular Democracy, which employs our friend Addie Barkan. And I just want to lift up Addie right now, because Addie, just like I, has a child and is faced with the prospect of not seeing his child grow up. And if this bill goes through and there is a continued assault on our health care and on the social safety net, Addie, who's my age, will not live to see his child grow up. And I want everybody to understand what that means. That means at the expense of our lives, they're willing to give tax cuts to people that don't need them. They are willing to raise taxes on people who are struggling. This is not about at all. This is not about the deficit and balancing the budget or any of the things that some of the proponents of this bill are always talking about. This is about a war on you and me.
That's right. That's right.
This is about an endless war on our hopes and dreams of having health care.
Yes.
Of growing old gracefully.
Better education system.
About access to education and health care.
Yeah.
It is about an access to a better life. To leading lives that are just a little bit better than our parents.
Yes.
This is about them demolishing our ability to stand tall on the shoulders of those who came before us.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
This is an assault on the American dream.
Yes, it is.
Do not forget that. Housing Works, Center for Popular Democracy, and countless thousands of people from across the nation have been waging battle in the Capitol day after day, week after week with our own bodies.
Yeah.
Putting our bodies on the line and sometimes risking civil disobedience.
Yes.
Because we will do whatever it takes nonviolently to protect our dreams.
That's right.
And if you're interested in coming with us to do that, we're about to leave very soon. One hashtag, listen to Addie. Kill this bill. Hashtag kill this bill. Thank you very much.
Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill!
Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
All right. It's my pleasure to bring up my friend Senator Ron Wyden.
All right, Senator Wyden.
As the senior Democrat on the Finance Committee, I'm heading into the conference committee right now.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this fight is not over. The multinational corporations have not yet won. And what we have to do is just keep fighting and fighting and making the case that we will not stand for a further betrayal of promises to the working class.
Right. That's right.
Remember when the president said, people like me shouldn't get anything? How about the idea that the biggest estates in America are going to get another break? How about cutting the rate for the multinational corporations from 35 to 20? And for middle class folks, their relief is written on disappearing ink. Multinational corporations,
the well-connected. Every time you turn around, they get something else. And folks, the middle class come 2027, more than half of them are going to be paying more taxes. Now, we're going to hear about how they've been making changes and all that, and we still haven't seen it. I'm only the ranking Democrat on the Finance Committee. $10 trillion worth of changes. Don't really need to spend any time with that. And what I can tell you is not one of the changes, not one, is designed to make life better for the middle class. They aren't talking about it. So I'm so glad you're out here on a balmy day when we're wearing our shorts and being casual. Let's make sure that people understand two things. These changes, there are going to be a lot of ballyhoo about them. You know, they're apparently lowering the rate for people at the top. Can you believe that?
That's a shame.
Put a dagger in the heart of the Affordable Care Act and lower the rate for people at the top. All right. I got to go make the fight.
Go fight.
And I leave you with this. Our message has always been a positive one. We want a tax policy that gives everybody in America the chance to get ahead, not one that rearranges the chairs at the country club. Political change doesn't start in a government building and trickle down. Political change is bottoms up. We must keep fighting on this. The fight is not over. God bless. Thank you.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. All right. Kill the bill.
How many people here have ever bird dogged a town hall meeting or public event? How many people here are from the Bird Dog Nation and or want to go participate in an act of civil disobedience starting now? For everybody who came with Housing Works Center for Popular Democracy or wants to join visiting Flake, Murkowski, Moran, and McCain today, we are going right there, right now. Right there. Right here, we're going to go over to Hart Senate Office Building. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Kill the bill.
We're not done yet. Our next speaker was a public school teacher herself, and she is now the president of the American Federation of Teachers, Randi Weingarten.
Okay. Are you ready to still fight?
Yeah.
So, the bill that the conference committee just put together is not worth this piece of paper.
No, it's not.
Because what that bill does, and not that we know very much about it, but I'm sure the lobbyists for the rich and the richer know a lot about it.
Yes, they do.
They wrote it exactly right. And we saw that in the Senate bill as everything was being stop for a minute, start for a minute, and all of the writing, the handwriting.
Chicken scratch.
They clearly did not go to public school. But my point is this. This fight is not over.
That's right.
It's not over this week, and it's not over this month, and it's not over in this election cycle.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean. How dare they, when America's working people have not had a raise, how dare they give a huge giveaway to corporations? How dare they, when America's working people need the services that the state and local tax deduction pay for, how dare they tolerate that to give a boondoggle to corporations.
How dare they?
How dare they? How dare they?
they?
I love this. I got a chorus. How dare they when people in America want to buy homes and stay in homes made worse by the last recession caused by Wall Street? How dare they take away the incentives to buy and stay in homes?
How dare they?
How dare they? How dare they do a war on college students and graduate students and knowledge? Now, the reason I'm saying all of this is because I want this etched in your mind and in your hearts and in our fight. Because what the Republicans in this Congress are showing, and they're going to race to get this bill done before Doug Jones is sworn in.
No Jones, no vote. No
Jones, no vote. No Jones, no vote.
No Jones, no vote. No Jones, no vote.
Love that. The reason, and then I'm going to get off the stage, the reason I want this etched in your mind is because they will say whatever lies they have to say, and it will be funded by the people who have gotten these huge tax breaks. And we have to hold them accountable.
Yes, we will.
We have to hold them accountable for not raising wages. We have to hold them accountable for cutting services. We have to hold them accountable for the 87 million middle-class families that will have tax increases because of this scam. Are you ready to hold them accountable? Are you ready to hold them accountable? Tax policy is supposed to be progressive. It's supposed to give the most to the least, not be this. We need to call everyone in Congress we can call in the next several days. We need to be in front of every office we can be in. And most importantly, we need to make it clear that the people are against this tax scam.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
I want to thank everybody for coming out, and we're going to close with one of my dearest friends and somebody who's been fighting on health care and fighting on taxes since the beginning. You all know who he is. From MoveOn.org, Ben Wickler.
Ben for Congress.
So I heard this rumor it was going to be cold today, but I'm feeling fired up. Are you fired up? I heard this rumor the weather was going to be on the chilly side, but I feel the fire of grassroots rage boiling out here. Do you feel it? I heard this rumor that the outdoors was going to be chillier, but somehow this ice cold, this wintry sub-zero temperature seems to be coursing through the veins of people in that building right there. When they turn the temperature down, we turn up. When they turn the temperature down, what do we do? When they try to shut us out, what do we do? When they try to silence us, what do we do? There's one reason why they're trying to do this. Why they're trying to do this right now. Why they're trying to do this fast. Why they're trying to do this ugly. And that reason is that they think they can get away with it.
And you can't. You see it.
Can they get away with this?
No.
Are we going to let them get away with this?
No.
Are they going to know the consequences if they even try to get away with this?
All of them.
So first,
2018.
so yes, vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out.
All of them.
Vote them out.
All of them.
Vote them out.
All of them.
All of them. So first they're going to try to pass this. This is their plan. This This is as disgusting an approach to legislation as the Trump relationship with Russia is to the sanctity of American democracy.
I stand with Robert Mueller.
Yes. They're breaking every norm. They're smashing the furniture. This is smash and grab politics at the highest level. This is looting by the elite. But this is their plan. They came up with their bill. They're going to unveil it. They're going to try to rush through. It's supposed to be public for 48 hours, which means they're going to have that time tick through during the weekend. This is a 10 hours of debate. That's all they're going to allow. There's no amendment on this thing. Shame, 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 shame. The one upside of no amendments is that tax code will not be written in Sharpie on the edges of this thing this time. It's not much of an upside. So they're going to try to pass this thing. We are going to be fighting them every step of the way. There have been more than 650,000 calls to Congress opposing the tax scam. There have been more than 500 protests across this country opposing this tax scam. There's a vast majority, hundreds of millions of Americans who think this is a bad plan that hands money to the rich and takes money from the rest of us. We are winning the public fight over this bill already. We are already winning that fight, but they're going to try to do this anyway. Now listen, it is possible that their plan will fall apart. And I know that because July 30th, I was standing right over there with some folks that are here right now. On the night they tried to pass their ACA repeal bill, they thought they had the votes. I woke up convinced they had the votes. I thought we were out there for a kind of a vigil, kind of a shaming kind of event. And it turned out to be a celebration because they don't know how to count votes. They are bad at even the political part of the job, let alone the policy part of the job. We need to replace them with people who know what they're doing and want to do something good. So we don't know. There are votes that are in flux. There are promises that are being broken to people like Susan Collins right now. We do not know. It might fall apart. But if they pass this thing, it doesn't end there because we are going every single day through 2018 and 2020, and then we will be out here cheering as Democrats announce the new tax bill to fix this economy, to make sure the wealthy pay their fair share, to make sure schools are funded, to make sure our infrastructure is funded, to make sure that everyone has a fair shot, and those at the top have to pay for the things they're taking from the rest of us. We are in for this fight. We are going to win tomorrow. We're going to win the next day, or we're going to win one day. Who is here all the way? All the way! 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 This fight, it didn't start yesterday. It doesn't end tomorrow. We're there every step of the way. Not one penny. Not one penny. Not one penny. Not one penny. Let's give a huge round of applause to all the groups that have been here and to the Not One Penny Coalition. This is amazing. The fight goes on.
What are we going to do? Kill the bill. What? Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
Our next speaker was in her office, and she called her staff and said, I got to get out there. I have to get out there. I'm not staying inside. Please help me bring on stage Representative Sheila Jackson-Lee.
Thank you, Congresswoman Lee. Woo. Congresswoman Lee.
It is cold out here.
Fired up.
But just like the good souls down in Alabama.
Yeah, that's right.
That last night stood up to Trumpism, divisiveness, the behavior of a child predator, turning on very Americans who just happen to be LGBT or black or Hispanic or just happen to have a different faith. Those Alabamans stood up and brought to the world, not to the nation, a new attitude. And it's cold out here. But you who are standing here are walking alongside of the soldiers on the battlefield from Alabama to Washington, D.C. I thank you for your courage. And so I want to say this because it's so cold. This is not, the brother said we are fired up, and he is right. But now behind closed doors, Republicans have not even waited for a conference where Democrats might be able to sit in the room. They're deciding and negotiating with themselves in the midst of smoke and mirrors. We don't know who is left along the highway of life in a heap of despair and devastation. And so here's why you are here. You are here because students from community college to PhDs are being slammed to the wall with no right for tuition waivers, no right for deduction of their costs. Teachers who are teaching the little kindergartner can't even deduct the crayons and paper that they pay for in inner city America. Shame. Shame, 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 shame. One of the special accounts that I support every year, because having gone to school in the cold north, I know the winds blow. And LIHEAP, which provides warmth in the winter for those who suffer and don't have the money to be able to pay those high bills. And those in the summer who are suffering from unimaginary heat. LIHEAP comes in and supplements so that they can live a decent life. And with this tax cut, they're throwing LIHEAP to the heap of despair. That's what we are fighting against. When I was home in my district, a pediatrician, and you know doctors are usually standing up and they feel good about themselves, came to me and walked in the most humble way and begged, can we just have children's health insurance for my patients who are lining up and their parents are frightened because they have no health insurance. They are infants. They are toddlers. They are 10-year-olds. They are 15-year-olds. They're suffering from chronic illness and they have no health insurance. Shame. Outrageous. And then, of course, from the U.S. Virgin Islands that has no electricity to Puerto Rico, who half of the island is collapsed and no electricity. The people in the Keys in Florida and beyond in Louisiana that sure has had its share of hurricanes. And then in the state of Texas, from the south to the northern to the midsection of section, where in my own area, 300,000 homes are under, including multifamily homes. And they are telling us that maybe because of this tax debacle and disgrace, that you're not even going to be able to say to those whose homes I visited over the weekend, who are living where sheetrock used to be, and they're looking at the wood of the homes, and you know that that doesn't get warm. Even in Texas, we had a little snow. Shame if they don't get us our hurricane relief monies because they're paying themselves a big check. Shame. Shame, 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 shame. So my brothers and sisters, I start as I ended. Is anybody going to raise up the patriots like you who are standing here? Is anyone going to recognize that last night was a signal to this administration that we will take this no more, and we will not stand idly by and allow this nation and its values and the greatness of it to be extinguished? We are going to stand, and if there is a concept that is available for filibustering, I'm asking my brothers and sisters who have the ability to filibuster to get on that floor when that bill comes and filibuster. This is a bill that needs to be killed. The Patriots are on the march. Alabama has led the way. Virginia and New Jersey have said enough is enough, and we are going to kneel. That is what we're going to do, and we're going to kill the bill. Thank you all, Patriots.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
I know it's cold, so let's all warm up a little bit, do a little warm-up dance, and help me welcome Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky to the stage.
I know you've been out here when we were sweating in the sun. You're out here as we're freezing in the cold. I want to thank you for that. So here's a couple of shames. Today,
a lot of shames.
Today, President Trump and Republicans reached a deal to set tax rates for millionaires, and billionaires even lower than was in the House and the Senate bill. Shame! Shame!
Shame! Shame! Hey!
Okay, here's another one. Here's another one. Did you know that hidden in this tax bill, they take away a deduction for blind people, for people who are over 65 and disabled, that listen to this, though, it amounts to $50 million over 10 years. Do you understand? That's $5 million a year. That is budget dust. But they have been digging into this tax bill to find even the smallest thing that would take a deduction away from blind people. Shame on them. Shame on them. I'm telling you. And of course, it's all for the ability to give even more. Another $50 million to the richest Americans. I mean, it is just shameless on their part. So I want to thank you. You are the stalwarts. You are out here. And yesterday we did see, I like to say, a Hanukkah miracle.
Yeah.
Just saying, a Hanukkah miracle.
No vote. No Jones, 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 no vote.
So I just want to tell you, you know, I've said it before and you've said it with me. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. We can win this battle. Thank you so much for all you do.
All right, everybody, this is not over. You can call your congressperson, you can visit them, you can still make a difference. Together we can kill the bill.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
Thank you everyone for coming. Warm up, and we'll fight together.